What's going on, everybody? This is Life.
This is Suelo.
And this is Adrian.
And this is Just Do the Damn Thing podcast.
Do the damn thing, do the damn thing, yeah. Do the damn thing, do the damn thing, yeah. Do the damn thing, do my damn thing. I'ma do my damn thing. I'ma do my damn thing.
Welcome to another episode of Just Do the Damn Thing. Today's topic, we're going to talk about personal development. And Suelo, what do you think you do for personal development?
Okay. So I really like this topic. I'm glad that we're bringing it up and able to share this with our audience. So I just want to say that the first thing that I do for personal development, the biggest thing that I do for personal development is meditation. Meditation is a practice that I picked up about, I would say about 5 or 6 years ago now that I've been meditating, and it has changed my life completely, changed my life drastically. Before I started meditating, like I was doing bad. And in life, that's just one of the things. It's like you meet adversity and it makes you a better person if you take it head on. You know what I mean? And for me, I was facing some adversity, some mental health issues and other things like that. And at that point, I was willing to try anything, you know what I mean? Yeah. And meditation isn't a part of either of our cultures, Mexican culture or the black culture. It's not a part of our culture at all. And, it's more Middle Eastern, over there. And so I'm just doing some research. What's one thing that I could do to help me feel better and just get me right mentally? And it was meditation. And I began that 5 or 6 years ago. I do it twice a day in the morning. I do it in the morning and I do it at night, each session about 20 minutes. And it changed my life. And I recommend anybody watching this, if you're skeptical, you want to get into it, you're not too sure, I just say, just do it. It'll change your life. Just do it. Exactly. Just do the damn thing.
Exactly. So, okay, that's good. I mean, I wish I would try that. I'm probably going to try that, take a little page out of your book and see how it works out. But Adrian, what do you do?
Well, I guess it kind of piggybacks on the meditation thing. I would say reflect, like really think about the areas I want to grow in and my life in general, and say, okay, well, what do I want to change? What do I want to do to make myself better? What things have I done that are doing great? Or what things have I seen other people do that maybe I can take a page out of that book? So really reflect on my current state, my past, where I'm trying to go, and just kind of take the baton from there.
That's good.
I like that.
I like that
Yes.
a lot. So I guess it's my turn. So for me, one of the hugest things I do is skateboard, and how that develops me is that, like, one of those things you do is, like, no matter how many times you fall, you pick yourself back up. So it gets me, a stronger person. It makes me stronger and makes me want to always keep going. And then the feeling of landing a trick just feels so good. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like,
especially after falling so many damn times.
Exactly. Falling so many times, and then you finally get it's like a yes, I did this.
Yeah,
I did this thing. And so that's like my thing, is just skateboarding. And then of course, that's pretty much it actually. That's the bulk of it.
Yeah, I like that. And that's just a general thing with sports, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sports,
Yes.
You fall, you fail, and you get back up and you keep going.
Yes.
And so to kind of go off of that, my second most important thing that I do for personal development is exercise. To me, meditation and exercise go hand in hand. I can't have one without the other. And those are the two most important things that I do to develop myself. Of course, you want to get your body right. You want to feel good. You want to look good. And exercise is the way to do it. And also with exercise, a lot of people are becoming more aware of it. But another big thing, it helps you mentally. It releases chemicals in your brain that helps you feel good. And just after you do a good hard workout, you come out of there, you're exhausted, but you feel so damn good. So exercise is right up there with meditation. They go like hand in hand, but I can go, I'll have a rest day. I rest one day out of the week, exercise, but I don't rest with meditation. Meditation is 365 no matter what.
I feel you. I like that. That's great to do. I mean, skateboarding, like you just said, is an exercise. So I feel the same way, obviously.
Yeah.
So Adrian, what do you feel?
I wanted to ask a question about the meditation first.
Okay, yeah.
Just to piggyback, would you say that, because you mentioned like it doesn't go with Afro-American culture or Hispanic culture.
Right.
But prayer, would you say that's in the same realm?
Prayer,
Or would
yes.
you say,
Yeah, I would say it does. It's very similar, meditation and prayer. The only difference of prayer is that you're consciously thinking of gratitude or whatever it is that you're praying for, whereas meditation is the absence of thought.
okay.
But it does, both of them I would say will bring you to a centered place, and just mentally just helps you relieve of any stresses or burdens that you may have at the moment.
Yeah, because prayer is big in both Hispanic
Yes,
and
it is big
African-American
time.
culture.
Yes, yes. And
So-
prayer's not on my list, but I do pray throughout the day constantly.
Yeah. And so going into the second thing, I think, especially for me, being a teacher and being like a big organizer, I think planning is a big second thing I would do. Now that I've reflected on what I want to do and what changes I want to make, how plan and research how to institute those things. What methods can I do? How can I do them? So make a plan to say maybe twice a day or 3 times a day. I'm gonna consciously make this change, to plan this change, to give someone a compliment or something like that.
Oh, I see.
Or
Okay.
plan to say, okay, start here and twice. It's kind of like you do with exercise. You say, well, I'm gonna start off, 30-minute workout twice a week or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So really make that plan to see where you're trying to go. You know what I mean?
And sticking to that plan, you would
Right,
say.
exactly, and not
Execute
and no,
it.
it's not. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Of course.
So just saying, well, conquering this thing, little bit at a time, and just know that some days gonna be better than others. Some days are not gonna be great. Some days are gonna be good. But yeah, just really making a plan and focus on that plan.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. I like that too. So for me, actually, to go off of the meditation thing, my type of meditation is actually writing music. So for me, it takes me to a whole nother place when I'm writing music. I can get my thoughts out on paper. I can see how I'm really feeling, and I actually know how to express myself better when I'm writing. So that gets me to release any stress I have, or any any type of feeling I have. I'm able to release it out in the open. And especially when I hear a certain type of beat, it gets you in a certain it gets you in a certain
You
mood to
feel
write.
good.
Yeah, you feel good, and you or you may feel bad, but you feel good to release that bad.
It's so weird that you might be sad and you hear a sad beat and you write to it, but at the end you end up feeling good.
Man,
Even though you're in a sad state of mind as you write the song and the lyrics are sad,
exactly.
but for some reason you feel good.
exactly. Just like when I wrote the song for my mom on my first album, like I was such in a dark place, but as soon as I wrote that song, I just felt a weight lifted off of me, and I was able to move forward, and I was able to be stronger in my mindset.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
You know.
Okay, so I guess it's on me. So another big thing that I do, that I started to do a couple years ago, is something that I read in a book called The 4 Agreements. And I was kind of doing this before I read the book, but reading the book, The 4 Agreements, really instilled it into my head, into my mind, is don't take anything personally. I stopped taking things personally, or at least I tried not to. We're human, of course it happens, especially if it's somebody that you care about and their opinion made you feel some type of way. But for the most part, I try to not take things personally, because whatever you may say, not you per se, but whatever somebody may say is none of my business. You know what I mean? Or how you feel about something is none of my business.
Yes.
What's my business is what I'm doing, what I'm focusing on, and my emotions, how I'm feeling. So I need to conquer myself, conquer my emotions, stay disciplined, and stick to the path that I'm on. Focus on me. Don't take anything personally. Whatever somebody does to us, like you and I, we make music. Let's say we're doing a show, and then there's shady promoters or shady people that you work with, and something might fall out. Like you were really looking forward to this thing, and it didn't end up happening. A lot of people will get in their feelings and say, "Man, F that dude. He promised this, and that, and the show never went through." Yada yada. I'm like, all right. Move on. Like, what's next? You know what I mean? Whatever that person did has nothing to do with me. It's not going to stop me. Like, I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm focused, and I'm not going to take anything personally. Whatever it is, it's a bump on the road. You take it on the chin, and you keep pushing. You know what I mean?
Keep pushing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I live by these sayings. Like,
don't quit.
I really do. Yes, exactly. Don't quit. Just keep pushing. Like, whatever somebody does, that's none of your business. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. That's that pushing that barrier down.
Yeah, exactly.
People in the way.
Yeah, straight up.
I love that. I love that a lot. That's one of my things I go by too. But Adrian, what's one of the other things you feel?
Well, I didn't have this one originally, but I'm gonna piggyback off yours a little bit. I think don't compare your struggle to someone else's success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know the whole saying, the grass is greener.
Yeah.
But you don't know how many brown spots they got. You don't know how much water they really putting on it.
It might be GMO grass. Right? It's not real grass.
Turf, you know what I'm saying? It's true. Like that's just like, you know, as far as like a woman's perspective, of course, women find all kinds of things wrong with their body and say, I don't want to fix this. I want to be smaller, and I want to be this. And if I compare myself to Kim Kardashian, you know, for example, you know, she's obviously enhanced some things, allegedly, of course.
Allegedly.
You know, but I can't compare. So how could I compare that? That's, you know what I mean?
It's not realistic.
To say, exactly. And the truth of the matter is, my struggle is not her success or the other way around. You know what I mean? And so to sit here and compare and say, well, this person's doing good, so I should be, or if I just work out, you know, 5 times a week like they are, I'll lose the weight like they're gonna do it. You know, it might not happen like that for you. And you just have to realize that whatever you have to go through, or whatever success you have might not be somebody else's success, or might not be somebody else's struggle. Just don't compare. Just focus on the road ahead and what you want to do for your own self.
Yeah, because everybody has their own path. Nobody's story is the same. You're not going to have the same successes as somebody. And I know that's something that I struggle with as well. You know, being as an artist, like, I want to be where such and such artist is, but I'm like, I can't compare myself to that. I just got to stick to what I'm doing, do what I'm doing at 100%, and I'm going to get to wherever I'm supposed to go, and don't compare it to anybody else.
Yeah, that actually goes hand in hand with the music stuff too, because it's like, if I'm comparing myself to another music artist that may be a little bit more successful than me, you may get in your feelings.
Exactly.
And you shouldn't, because your craft is for somebody.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Just make sure you keep doing it, and you'll find the people that love your thing.
Yeah.
And then you'll find your niche. But
Straight up.
Straight up.
You can't compare.
Piggyback off that, you see, like, I'm sure you guys, I mean, as music artists, you see people with like all kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they get successful off of just having what is that? When you just have
one hit wonder?
No, like they might have something they can commercially put out.
Right.
I forgot the name
cutter?
for it right now. No, I forget the name for it, but it's like they're using that to say. Kinda, sorta.
Okay.
That's not the word I was looking for, but that'll work. So like they're not talented. It's just that they're this
they're
specific
using
thing.
more of like an outline of like somebody, like someone pop. You're like, oh, I'm gonna make a song like this, and so they start making.
Like that,
that's what normally happens, is that whatever is a trend at that moment. So if you have that trap music that goes on, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna make a song like I'm gonna make a song like this. This is what's popping right now, and then you just cookie cutter something and throw it out there and there you go. And then when people get successful out of that, some people may feel like, oh, what? I know I rap 30 times better than this. It doesn't matter. He did his grind correctly. He got his work in front of the right people.
Yeah,
can't be mad at that.
And I wouldn't compare what you're doing to what they're doing. Just
exactly.
Do the thing that you're doing.
Do you?
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel that. So one of the other things that I do, my wife being a teacher over here, is educating myself. So I research so many things to arm myself with situations that I may be in, like whether it be an argument, whether it just be something switching a tire, whatever the case may be, like learning to fix something. If I had the knowledge to do so, I'm capable of doing it without having to rely on someone else.
Yes.
And I don't want to rely on someone else. So if
Yeah.
I have as much education as possible, I'm going to automatically know how to do that specific
The
thing.
University of YouTube.
Exactly. Man.
That really should be. That should be what it's
YouTube.
called.
And
The
that's one of
internet has changed the world. It
Oh, man.
really
You
has.
can-
We
you can
have so
learn
many
anything you-
resources to us, and
Yeah.
like, there's no excuse to not at least. You might not be a pro at something, but at least educate yourself on whatever it is that you're trying to do. There's no real excuse to not at least
Exactly.
have some sort of understanding.
Just like last episode, we're talking about like law stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I like the channel that I watch, Audit the Audit, like I was saying before, he gives me a lot of education about law because he actually goes from state to state watching these videos and reading penal codes in those states to you. So now you're getting education on how the law works in different states and not just your own.
Yeah.
So when you travel there, you'll know what to expect and what you'll have to, guard yourself on and how not to get pulled over on whatever. So it arms you really well in whatever situation you're in. Like when you educate yourself in whatever situation, it
definitely.
Get you right.
Yeah.
So I would say research and education is definitely
Exactly.
one of my big
Research. Don't take anybody's word for anything.
man.
Like we talked about last episode with the media or anything like that, you can't take anything for face value. Like, oh, this is what it is, and that's that. No, we have so many resources now with the internet, and
Yes.
you can look it up yourself and come to your own conclusion.
Here's
Yes.
something for you, babe. Read.
Yes. I'm a big bookworm, so yes, that speaks to me.
Yes, definitely.
I was going to piggyback off of what you guys were saying about the research and YouTube because, like, I know one thing, and I don't know if it happens. It probably happens in the Hispanic community too, but the Black community. Back in the day, you had the big mama that would cook, right? And she would just season and do stuff from the soul, and there wasn't no measuring cups. They were always like, she didn't use a measuring cup and use measuring spoon. She just did whatever,
My
and
mom
it was
never
good,
used measuring.
right? But
Never.
now the younger generation of women, especially probably men too, we're like shamed into using a recipe. But it's like, why not? It's at our fingertips. The resources are there. And then you got to
not?
start somewhere. Like
Yeah,
just think about when
man.
you're learning how to read. Like nobody's just like, well, I just read chapter books and
they'll
that's
learn how to
it. You know
play
what I mean?
a
You had to
video
learn
game
the
real
alphabet first. I mean,
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
And then why is it such a shame that I use a recipe versus the resources there? Like,
Yeah,
why
if
not?
the resources are there, you want to try something new or whatever, you want to
Yeah.
make something, like, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't.
Random tangent, but it's just saying.
No, definitely.
I agree with
100%.
that totally because
Yeah.
I was trying to iterate like people won't research that, but they'll research how to play a video game for hours.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, so this is all you want to know in life is just video games. And this is coming from a person that loves anime and video games. Like,
Yeah,
I actually
exactly.
created an anime,
Yeah.
so. But I know that's not the only thing in life. Like you got to
Yeah.
learn how to do other things.
Right, but then again, I don't know if that person, are they chasing that dream? Like, because nowadays you can get paid to play video
Right.
games. They have
$500,000
esports, people
pot.
compete.
That is
Some crazy
perfectly
stuff.
fine to do that.
Right.
Get your money. But if
Uh-huh.
all you do is video games and you don't even know how to get up and make yourself a sandwich, you have your mom coming down the basement giving you a no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm just
I would agree with that
understandable.
point, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'll go next, right? Is it on me?
it don't matter. Go for it.
Okay,
Go
all
for
right.
it.
So another thing that I do that I started really to understand recently, a few months ago actually, is being more patient, practicing patience.
Oh,
I know we want everything overnight. You know what I mean? We want everything to happen at the snap of our fingers, and we
Microwave
just
generation.
Yes, we want everything right now. And I'm starting to really come to the understanding of it's not going to happen overnight and it's not going to be easy. So you have to have patience. I know I recently bought a home, and just the whole process was like,
I feel you.
was
Oh
just
my.
stressful, you know what I mean? And like the process took months, like just looking at homes and you don't like this one or you got outbidded or things like that, you know what I mean? And you start you start to lose hope, you start to lose your will, and then you're kind of like, I'm never gonna find a home, this and that, you know what I mean? It's just frustrating and it's stressful. So what I really learned throughout the process is just have patience. I started to have patience in the process. I was like, oh, if it's not this one, then it's the next one. It's not that one, then the one after that. You know what I mean? You just have to stay patient and have faith that it's gonna work out. We were getting close to just tapping out and saying, nah, you know, we're better off just getting an apartment or something. And I was like, no, let's stay down, let's stay patient, and it's gonna work out. And it did. And it has taught me a lot, just being patient.
I feel you wholeheartedly, man. Because like I've been on both spectrums of that, the house buying. Because you know, when I first bought my first house, that process was super quick. Yeah, the signing was long, but all I had to do, I went on like 3 trips with my real estate agent, picked a house. No one was bidding on it. I got it immediately. It took like not even a whole month to get that one. Yeah. But now me and my wife are buying a new house, and we're in a new construction one. And we started this in October of last year, like that. And it's almost in July.
Right.
It's months, and we looked at probably 100 houses.
Oh my goodness!
Like really, like 100 houses.
I'd be so frustrated.
And it could get frustrating, but yeah,
part of it was us being picky, though.
Yeah, but it's your house. You want to be somewhat picky.
Yeah,
exactly. You're gonna live there for years.
There was like nothing out there, so we thought, like, it's funny because when we sat down with our real estate agent, we were like, oh, it's gonna be easy, like, because what we were asking for, we didn't feel like was like anything too crazy. So we're like, oh, we'll find a house quick, and no.
It took months, right?
This one is it's like this one is wrong with this or this wrong with that, and it's like right now there's not so much inventory that it's hard.
Yeah, with the market how it is now. So yeah, that's something I'm really learning right now is having patience, and that goes along with having faith. You know, I personally have a faith in a higher being and some sort of God, and I have pure wholehearted faith that it's gonna work out for me and it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna work out the way that I want it to, but it's gonna work out. And going off what you said earlier, just reflecting back on previous experiences in life, when I thought I was down and out and it was not gonna get better, it somehow got better. And I credit that personally to God. So I have faith and I reflect, I'm like, I was okay last time, I'm gonna be okay this time too. So I just have patience with faith, and I just know that I'm gonna be okay.
Yes.
I totally agree with that. I do the exact same thing. I'm a person of faith as well. And humbleness and patience, it goes a long way. Not comparing yourself obviously to people, staying humble, not thinking that you're better than someone else, because that can get you to be arrogant, and people may not like that obviously. And then of course, patience is one of the key factors in that whole entire situation, because people, like you said, like my wife said, it's like a microwave era where people just want things like 1 minute or less. Like that's why, and I believe people have become lazy because of it. So like now, fast food, that's why we have a whole bunch of people that are overweight with fast food and everything in our culture. It's like we get mad because it takes more than 1 minute for the food to come to us through a drive-through. Like, even if we cook at home, it'll take like an hour.
Yeah, exactly. If you made it yourself, like think about it. Like it's not worth really getting upset about,
Really, it's really not. And so I practice that a lot. Is making sure if I'm going into a situation, making sure that I'm patient, and that kind of has to do with my job, because I'm a IT person. I fix people's computers. And computer work, you have to be patient because you sit there through a loading screen for an hour. I can go cook actually while I'm waiting for a loading screen.
And then with the just the troubleshooting process, can take a long time
because you're going through all these different variables. People don't really realize like how much work goes into that. And then you get people frustrated at you because it's not coming. Where's my computer? It's not fixed. I'm like, hey, you had, this big problem that I had to investigate thoroughly for to get a conclusion out of this. But patience. I definitely agree with that.
Definitely.
Anything else to add?
Did you have another point, Adrian?
On patience or just period?
Just
Just
personal
period.
development.
I think just instituting the plan is what the other thing I was gonna say. Patience is definitely a part of that, right? So when you make a plan, you have to actually execute. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But just know, again, like going back to what I said earlier, like your struggle is not someone else's success or the other way around. Like, and piggybacking off what you said, what's for you is for you. You know what I mean? And I feel the same way. Like we're thoroughly blessed, or we're entirely blessed, regardless of, you know, you can look at any situation and see the good in it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I think Joe told me one time, like, oh, this homeless guy was like happy being homeless because he was like talking about how, I'm not saying that's all homeless people, I was just saying the freedom of it all. You know what I mean? Or just he looked at it from a different perspective. You know what I mean? Just to say like, what's for you is for you, and like with your house buying process, or with our house buying process, that house, those houses that you've been on weren't for you. For you know, you said God seen that it was something else out there for you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But I think instituting your plan, really executing your plan, and saying, you know, sticking to it, focusing, I guess, kind of what I already said earlier, is really, I feel like, part of personal development.
Yeah. Joe, did you have another point?
Not really. I mean, most of this is all like stuff that a lot of this is stuff anybody can use when the stuff that we're kind of talking about now, whether it be patience, humbleness, whether it be faith. If it's not faith for you, it would be patience, I guess you could say, or have confidence. And what's going to happen for you is going to happen. Like it doesn't happen, like you said earlier, it doesn't happen overnight. So all these types of things we can utilize in our life every single day, because you got to realize, you know, this person may have $1 million house and you may only have a $200,000 house, but you got to realize this homeless person doesn't have anything that you have. So, and they may want that type of thing. Like she said, I talked about a homeless person that said that he was free, and you got to look at it you got to look everything at a good perspective. You can't look at anything from a bad perspective, because if you do, you go crazy.
If you do, you don't get anything good out of it.
No,
like you're not gonna come out.
Stressed.
Yeah, like what's the point?
You do the eating thing where you just stress eating and
or you don't eat at all.
Or you don't eat at all.
Or not eating.
And you deteriorate. You deteriorate yourself, and that's not good for you. Like you got to look at everything positively. That's why when I go into things, I always look for the positive side of it.
Yeah, as it should be.
I'm thinking that's my development thing, is positivity and perspective.
Okay, yeah. So looking at it from a positive angle.
Yes.
Yes.
Because like I want to have a way bigger home later, but that doesn't mean that I'm not in a good position now.
Exactly. It doesn't mean that you're not happy with what you have now.
Like okay, I want to have a bigger house. That's fine and dandy. I have to make the moves and the execution and the planning and the humbleness and patience that I know that I'm going to eventually be able to get there. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm not gonna just wake up one morning and be a millionaire. Like some people have that with the lotto, but you know, some of them are like freaking 70 years old. Like it definitely didn't happen to them overnight when they won the lotto. So it happens over time, and just be comfortable where you are. Be comfortable and look at it from a positive angle.
Definitely. And so to add on to that, what my final point, my fifth point of personal development, it's really important. It's at the bottom of the list, last but not least, for sure, is practicing gratitude, is being grateful for where you are, being grateful for what you have. That I think is just so huge. Like, for instance, my thing that I practice when I wake up every morning, the first thing I do is thank God for a good night's rest. Because without a good night's rest, I'm not going to have a good day. You know what I mean? So I thank God every day that I wake up for another day, for a good night's rest. I'm grateful to have my job, the means to provide. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. You know what I mean? I just kind of go through this list of the things that I'm grateful for, and it just automatically makes me feel better. Something that I always tell people is the more you're grateful for the things you have, the more you feel like you have it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just so to me, that's the mentality that I take is I need to be grateful for what I have, and it just makes you just that much more happy. And being grateful for what you have doesn't mean that you're gonna be stuck in that place and I'm grateful for what I have and this is it and it can't get better.
Yeah.
No, it's like we said earlier, being grateful for where you are, but you still have your goals and your plans to get better in different, you want a better car, house, career, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? But being grateful for where you are now, grateful for the process and understanding that it's a process and the understanding that it's gonna be one step at a time. Just being grateful, having a grand overview of it and just being grateful for what it is.
Yeah. I wouldn't say any other different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it differently.
Yeah, gratitude, big time key to success. I would say, or just being at peace. Because one thing that I strive for in life, the main thing that I strive for in life is having inner peace. Because no amount of money in the world, the car you have, the job you have, the house, how big it is, none of that matters if you're not happy inside, if you're not at peace.
Mental health is
mental health is a huge thing. I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
people that are millionaires that commit suicide.
Exactly.
And they have a lot of mental issues because there's something different. Like, I hate when people say, why'd you kill yourself? Or why'd you do this? Or why'd you get mad?
He
You have
had
all
so
this
much,
money.
yeah.
Like, but there's something else. There's other demons that are haunting him on other levels that you cannot comprehend.
Yes.
Because you're not in his shoes.
Yeah.
Like, if you were in another person's shoes, you would understand. But people try to peek over the fence and they see one bad apple on the floor and they think the whole house is just trash. Or they see a golden statue and they're like, oh my God, this person is the richest person in the world. But yet the inside of the house ain't really what it. Because you're not really there. You're not there 24/7. That's why I hate when people get into other people's relationships. Because you don't know the actual inside of that relationship. You just can see from the outside what it looks like, but it could be something totally different.
I think that's a big thing with like YouTube couples or something like that. Like they have this life that they put out on YouTube. Yeah. But like you don't know what they're like when the camera's off. You don't know how they really get along. You know what I mean? So
faking it to make it.
Yeah, exactly. So like the outside perspective, like you looking at somebody, they're a millionaire. You think they're happy and they're set and they got everything going for them. Really not. That's really not the case. No amount of money can buy you peace. Peace comes from within. So I think we should strive to find peace rather than monetary gain.
Yep. I agree with that.
Yes. Did you have another point, Adrian, Joe? Anything else you guys wanted to add to personal development or anything you guys want to say?
I was going to say, along with the gratitude, is if you're successful, to give back. If you can. Like, that's me. I'm a big giver. Joe will tell you that. Like, I'll give the shirt off my back, literally. Because that's where I find happiness, is being able to give to others. I just love being able to give to others. It doesn't have to be, of course, material things, of course. It could be love, it could be
support,
time,
a prayer.
Exactly. But I think that goes with the gratitude. Is you're so thankful for what you have that you're like, let me share this, you know, with others.
And with that, it just makes sense because I believe in karma. So you give what you get. You know what I mean? So if you give something out, with that, you put that positive energy, you're gonna get it right back eventually, some way, somehow. So if you want to feel better, if you want to be happier, they say just help other people. Like you'd be surprised how helping other people will actually make you feel better.
It feels amazing.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I might go on to a small tangent, not really.
Joe's tangent. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So, with skateboarding, when I teach someone how to skateboard, a little kid, I see him at the skate park, I'll go over there, teach him how to kickflip. The facial expression they get when they're like
when they land the trick
and they're like, oh my God, thank you so much, I've been trying to learn this for so long. And they just light up. It makes me feel like I'm Superman at that point.
Exactly.
Because it's just like I feel like I help somebody get to a goal that they have been trying to get to for a long time. And it feels on a whole nother level.
It feels amazing.
It feels amazing.
Definitely. So I think we all believe in karma, right?
Yes.
What you put out, you get back. So why not do good, put out good into the world and
Yes.
watch it come back to you.
Just to piggyback off of Joe, that's one reason like I wanted to become a teacher. And people will say, how do you do that? Like, how do you teach? Because I teach 8th grade, I taught 7th grade, and the middle schoolers are something else.
Yeah.
But just to see the expression on their faces when they, you know, accomplish, like, oh, look at my grade got better, or look at what I got on this quiz, or just learn something, and they just, you know, it's very rewarding job. It can be very trying, of course, but it's probably one of the most rewarding jobs on the planet,
Especially
like, if I had to say.
Especially since they're the future. Like,
Yes.
you're teaching the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's in their hands when we go.
It's very
So-
important to teach our kids right, you know what I mean, at school and at home.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
Because we all know
Everywhere.
it starts at home.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Say that
everywhere.
again.
Starts at home.
Yeah,
Starts at home,
definitely.
definitely.
Yes.
100%.
I think we can actually probably wrap up maybe.
Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. If you guys have anything you guys want to add to the conversation, any things that you guys practice for personal development, go ahead, drop it in the comments. We'll talk back to you guys. So until the next time, I'm Suelo.
I'm Life.
And I'm Adrian.
See you on the next one.
Deuces.
Peace.
OMG, where we keep going cause the party don't stop. We turn up, doing our thing, just living our lives, and we don't stop. Open my group so you know we won't flop. We on top, come to the party, you don't wanna miss out.